We'll make a motion to go back into the budget meeting. This next budget meeting is going to be for the highway department, and it's gonna be code A1620.
Second.
Hey, we have a motion on the floor with a second to go back into the budget meeting for the highway. The second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carry. Good morning, Mr. Wegger.
Good morning.
Okay, first thing, there's a letter here that's, we received, to the Budget Officer, D. Depew, Highway Superintendent Robert Wegger. The unassigned highway fund balance for 2026 highway budget. Please note the intentions of utilizing $240,000 from the unassigned highway fund balance to supplement the 2026 budget. That letter actually is to supplement the trucks that we already previously approved, correct? So that's a payment on those trucks. And when we turn to the first, A1620, the point ones.
Which is buildings and grounds, not highway.
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped by.
We always start with 1620.
Yeah.
But you mentioned
Yeah.
it was highway.
I'm sorry, it's all part of the budget that you do. All right, so 1620, buildings and grounds. Under the point one, personnel. So under the point one personnel, it has here the supervisor, current salary, $10,619.69. And the budget for 2025 was $10,619.70. That would be with a 2.75 increase. The proposed budget for 2026, the proposed is $10,832.08, and the actual is $10,911.73.
I believe that's an error there. I think I only did 2% on that.
Yeah.
It is, because it was like $212.39.
Not 2 3/4.
All right.
So there's no error
So-
in math. I chose to go with the 2%, not 2 3/4.
Yeah, and we went to 2.75, so it's $10,911.73. The MW3, hours worked is 1,560, current hourly salary, that's a municipal worker, is $26.75 per hour. And he has a proposed hourly salary, that is in contract negotiations at this time, so that will remain at the $26.75. And the proposed request there for 2026 budget was $44,460, no cents. And with the $26.75 remaining, that will be $41,730, so $41,730. Under the clerk, the current salary is $22 per hour. Proposed hours, 416 hours, and the proposed salary is $26.29, and that being raised 2.75 from $22 will reflect $22.61. And the total request for 2026 at $10,936.64 should be changed to $9,405.76.
And there's no movement on that 2 3/4, correct? That's across
That's-
the whole, all the employees.
That's what we agreed on,
All the employees, correct?
Yes.
so we agreed on. The board agreed on. Okay, so
The 9,405.76.
9,405.76. And do the math on that.
I'm getting there.
No, no.
10,908. 0.73. $62,044.49.
Six-two what?
62044.49.
49, I got 4749.
Say that again.
6204749.
Let's do that again. 9.
What'd you get?
Same thing. 62,044.49.
I got 047. So the first number is 109,000, or excuse me, 10,911.73.
I have 10,908.74.
Oh. What was the first number?
Hold on.
That's where the discrepancy is. Do your 10,619.69 times 2.75.
Sorry. Plus 10,876.87. What did you get on the first line item?
10,911.73.
Plus. Yes, okay. 10,911.64. There, you're correct. And then your end math is correct.
6204749.
Correct.
All right?
Yeah. Why did I hear 900.73?
Okay, under the point two, municipal worker tools. We expended in 2024, $499.83. The budget for 2025 is $500. And the budget year-to-date is zero that I have here so far. And the 2026 proposed budget is $500. We add $500 worth of tools every year. What is that $500 for?
Yeah, replacement things that are broken and to catch up, yeah.
Worn out or whatever?
Yeah.
All right. And our point four. Point four is going to be NICOMCO. And NICOMCO, I assume that's a contract, correct? At 396, so 396 is accurate. Let's do this. Under heating and fuels, in 24, in 24, it says here that it was 7324.38. I actually looked back at that, it was actually 4324.38. In 25, the budget request was for $9,000. Year to date, on this was $3,559.22. And the budget request is for $9,000. I'm going to recommend that we lower that to $6,500. Gentlemen?
What'd you have for this year, Dean? What were they up to right now?
For this year, spent up to the first time, it says here 3744.93, but
Okay.
I looked at it, it was 3559.22. And just the recommendation is to put that at 6,500 from 9,000. The cleaners. The cleaners, we've had the same cleaners here for quite some time. We expended $10,800. I believe that's $900 a month that we pay them. 2025, we budgeted $12,000. As of this filing, we're up to $7,200. The budget request is for $12,000. I'm going to recommend we stay at that $10,800.
Now, is their contract renewed? I would assume it's renewed every year,
Yeah,
right? They put in new paperwork?
Yep. The mats. The mats, those are the floor mats that we have, and I believe, is that a contract also, or that's just a payment per month?
I don't think you actually have a real contract with anything on this.
Okay, so under the maps, we expended the $595 back in 2024. We budgeted $700 in 2025. We spent $140. Budget request is for $225. I think that's good. Under the electric, and that's crazy if you will. 2024, we expended $11,013.86. We budgeted $15,000 $15,000 in 2025, and in 2025 year to date was $77,80.97. So that was off a little bit there, or that was actually up to date. The budget request is 15,000 again. I'd like to lower that to 13.
How much, just one question, didn't Central Hudson just get another, for an increase?
Yes, and that's why I looked it up to date.
Every truck and every piece of equipment has a block heater, and we're not into winter time yet.
What do you feel, gentlemen? I'm not the only one here, so speak up. Please.
I would almost think if we're going like into winter and also besides the trucks, anything with,
Every diesel engine gets plugged in. Chipper, loader, backhoe.
We didn't just start doing that, to be fair. We've been doing that all along, correct?
Sure, but depends on the winter.
Yep, understood.
Depends on the length of the winter.
13 sounds good.
Mr. Fazio?
I guess we could cut a little bit, but I wouldn't go too much.
Well, what are you recommending?
No, you zero what, 13?
15, I'm recommending 13.
No, yes.
They're giving justification here. What do you recommend?
Go with 13.
Mr. Castillo?
13.
Mr. O'Flaherty?
I don't have much of an opinion other than 13 is fine.
All right. Mowing,
From the
3,000 is a request. We spent 2240. We spent up to 2240 in 24. We budgeted 25. We spent the 2,090 year to date. 3,000 I think is fair. We'll keep it at 3,000. Alarm system,
This is staying at 3,000?
yeah. The alarm system, $600. Is that a budget also, $600? Is that just what we spend every year? Because I see we only spent up to $450 when you put the budget in. But it says we spent the $600 in 24.
It also depends if it needs work, if there's parts.
Repairs and whatever. All right, so we'll leave that at 600.
Yes.
Water, we spent $444.96 in 2024. We budgeted 500, we spent 464. I think 750 is fair, the request. And again, chime in anytime
Why is that? Why do we need 750?
for water.
I know, but,
We're the one check the park and everything and testing, right?
yeah, but
No, this is bottled water.
This is
bottled
the
water?
the
Drinking
5-gallon
water.
containers,
Oh,
correct?
consumer, I'm sorry.
yeah, but
No,
you're
it's-
looking at.
And I'm sure when you're on the road, you're not gonna haul a 5-gallon jug of water out there too, so you
Yeah.
supply
Leave it
water.
at 750 if they're showing 444 and 465. $500 would be fine.
No? So what's your feeling, Mr. Castillo? The request is for 750.
Yeah,
Councilman O'Flaherty recommends 500.
okay, we'll go 500.
Do you
I have
Well-
no problem with it.
What do you feel, Mr. Fazio?
want to do 550 to make it safe? But 500 is fine. But
What'd you say last time, Steve? 550? You went up a
500 to
little?
550,
Yeah.
Just give them a little wiggle room.
All right, so let's do that to 550 then.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, flags. Flags, we spent $257.70 back in '24. The request for the '25 budget was $500. We spent $99.90, and this is buildings and grants. What is this for? The flags that are out front here?
Yes.
All right, so $500 is the request. And again, we haven't hit that mark, but what's the feeling of the board? I actually put a question mark on this.
200?
How often do they you replace them? Do they get worn out every season or every other?
Fade, wind.
Yeah, but how long? Like, do they
It
last?
could be a
you?
couple times a year.
Yeah, a couple times a year. You gotta.
Yeah, it's a police station. It's here.
Gotcha.
They get tattered.
Yeah, depending on how much the wind and the weather, that's a big part of it.
Ice storms.
250, 100.
And it's not just flags. It's the ropes. It's the pulley system. It's all the part and pieces.
It's fine.
It's more than just cloth.
Yeah, you don't have to put a stipulation.
So again, at '24, we spent $257.70, and year-to-date now, we spent the $99.90. The request is for $500. What's your opinions, for your feelings?
You could leave it if he's got maintenance issues with them.
Councilman Castillo?
Yeah,
Councilman Fazio?
Yeah, there's always,
Okay, let's leave that at 500.
yes.
Okay, we have fire equipment. What does that fire equipment consist of?
Fire extinguishers.
That's the service that we have and the updates and all that stuff. So we expended, 2024, we expended $189. The budget request for 25 was 350. We've spent 157 and requesting 350 again.
There's,
And if I'm not mistaken, they're inspected every year, but there's also
you have to replace some of
a
them.
replacement onto them, and these numbers may not look accurate because this may be the year, or it may not be, that we have to replace those. So I'm gonna recommend that we stay
Leave it.
at that 350. Office cleaning, restroom supplies. We expended $3,387.11 in 2024. The budget request for 25 was 3,500, and year-to-date was $1,490.33 with another request of $3,500. And keep in mind, guys, these are cleaning supplies.
All right, well, 2024, I mean, basically, they were right up there.
I'm gonna recommend we keep it at the 3,500. Building maintenance supplies. We did spend $35.92.99 in 24. The budget request for 25 was 4,000, and we spent $1,717.93. The request is for $4,000. I'd like to lower that to 3.
2024, though, they were showing 3592.
is this because like the police started going out on their line and stuff like that? Or
I have no idea. You can ask the highway superintendent.
because we got a split on that?
I'm not understanding the question.
Oh, no,
These are building maintenance
Building,
supplies.
building maintenance, is that just this and,
You got town hall,
yeah,
police station, and also the highway department.
Transfer station.
Yeah, anything that has to do with maintenance on the buildings, it could be,
Right.
so yeah. And everything's getting older.
okay, no,
Is that a year-to-date, is that accurate?
And this
That's
amount here is year-to-date, correct?
Phasing out.
Well, this was, yeah, when you put this in. So what's your recommendations? I recommended lowering it to 3,000, but I will tell you this, our buildings are in pretty rough shape.
I would leave it the same.
All right,
Yes.
Yeah, concur.
I'm good with that. Garbage removal. In 24, we spent $1,320. We budgeted last year $1,750. We have spent $1,585.98, and the request is for $2,000. This is the dumpster that's out back here?
Yes,
Does that also include the ones at the police station or no?
I believe so.
Okay, so I'm gonna recommend we leave that at the 2,000.
That's good, you still have a few months left, so I'm
Yes.
sure it'll be eaten up.
Heating and cooling. Heating and cooling in 24, we spent $762.83. We budgeted 1,000 for 25. I see 0. I couldn't find any record of that. What is that specifically for, the heating and cooling?
Servicing the heating and air conditioning. We just replaced the units here, but they still have to be serviced. We have the dog shelter, you have the highway department, you have the town hall and the police station, parts and pieces to work on the furnace.
And the transfer station also.
Just
all right,
because we haven't
so-
spent it yet, we're just going into starting things up
No,
now.
I'm gonna recommend we leave that at the $1,000.
It's good.
Miscellaneous repairs and projects. So in 24, we expended $8,372.17. We budgeted $15,000 in 25, and as of this paper was $4,079.87. The budget request is for $14,000. I'm going to recommend we lower that to $12,500.
Okay. 12,000.
Well,
Why, why? I mean, why only the,
excuse me.
why only the 12,500?
Well, I mean,
Just
because
curious.
Well, what I did
He's
is I
looking at the
recommended the
numbers.
12,500. Keep in mind, miscellaneous repairs and projects, the buildings are in disarray. I don't want to cut that completely. There's a lot of things that have to be addressed in the buildings and continually are.
I think we just spent $3,000 just to get some doors fixed in the highway department. There's still more work to be done, so.
What are you doing back here now? I see you're doing another job over here.
Trying to get a place for the hot water pressure washer to live, so we can wash the trucks.
All right.
12,500, you said?
I'm gonna recommend 12,500. You guys good with that?
Okay, yeah, going with kind of trends, I would say
Okay.
that's okay.
Let's add all that up before we go any further.
Hopefully it says 58921.
What do you got?
58921.
Yes.
Hopefully.
58,921.
Even.
So. Okay, so let's do a complete edition. What do you get for the complete request?
121468.49.
Yep, that's what I got.
No whammies.
Okay, now we have 1640, general vehicles. Personnel. Under the personnel, we have, this is the budget request for 2025 was 12,000. And we have the proposed budget in 2026 at 16,000. I'm gonna recommend we lower that to 14. Under the point twos there is nothing. Under the point four, reimbursement for parts and reimbursement for fuel. This is a combined number, and the number that they're requesting, we budgeted 44,000 in '25. Excuse me, we spent, I believe, combined $35,673, and the proposed budget for '26 is 44,000.
You should leave it.
Mr. Fazio,
Yeah, the way everything's
What was the number?
going up, I don't think that's a bad number.
44,000
What
is
was the
the
actual
request.
What was
The actual number, 35,673. There's, and keep in mind, this was what, September you submitted this? Keep in mind, there's $8,326 left from that $44,000 that we budgeted, and that potentially could get eaten up pretty quick.
The amount of miles being on general vehicles right now is climbing pretty high. So,
So is that a good number?
I'm thinking $44,000 is a reasonable
It's
amount.
reasonable.
Okay.
So, that being said, let's add those numbers.
58.
58,000. So that total request will be 58. Traffic control. Traffic control, these are the signs. 2024, we expended $3,736.70. 25, we budgeted $4,000. And as of this filing was $1,291.86 that was spent. And the proposed budget for 26 is $4,000.
Well, they use, 2024, they use 3736, so
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty close.
The order gets placed at the end of the year, there's been a lot of street signs that have been stolen.
I'm gonna recommend that we keep that at the 4,000.
Which ones get stolen? People's
Various.
last names, like weird stuff, like Maloney Road or something. I'm just saying, those are typically the signs.
You know somebody with last name Maloney?
I don't know. I just know that the name signs people like to put up in their house.
Yes.
What's your feeling, gentlemen, on the
No, I would leave,
4,000?
I would leave
Be the
it.
same.
All right. So total department request for 26 is gonna be $4,000. Okay, Superintendent of Highways. This is A5010 under personnel. Under the superintendent's salary is $64,888. And the budget for 2025 was $64,888. The proposed budget with the 2.75 will be $66,672.42.
Say that again.
$66,672.42. Clerk, 32 hours. Current salary is at $22. Proposed work hours are $1,664. The proposed hourly rate was $26.29, and again, the 2.75 increase would reflect $22.61 an hour. The 2025 budget was $36,608, and the total budget request for 26 was $43,746.56. And at the 2.75, the adjusted rate would be $37,623.04.
Repeat that, please.
$37,623.04.
And the hourly rate you used was what?
$22.61.
Okay.
Let me do the math on that. Total will be $104,295.46.
Yep.
Okay, under point 2, in the equipment line, printing, writing, and supplies, we had 0 expenditures in '24. We budgeted $500 in '25, year-to-date was 0, and for '26, the request is $500. What is that?
Still gotta get a printer. Still haven't replaced it yet. Gonna try to do it this year, but we'll see what happens. But there's always stuff that we need to replace in the office. Everything's old.
Gentlemen?
If he's planning to replace it, because he's saying everything's old, I would almost say leave it.
Mr. Castillo?
Leave it alone.
Mr. O'Flaherty?
How many printers do you have?
Just one.
Okay.
We have one, actually, we have two. We
Yep.
kind of repurposed the old one when we can, but we have two.
I mean, they're not crazy expensive, so if you bought 2 of them, you could probably get 2 for $500.
But we, cooked a lot of paper.
Are they the same printers you have?
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I say
no.
leave it.
Yeah, so
Leave it, yeah.
he's utilizing 2 different kind of printers. The ink
Ink
alone
is a pain in the butt.
is ridiculous. All right, so we'll leave the point 2 at 500.
Yep.
Under point 4, contractual.
Do you want a bottom line on that one?
You got
Or just on that page? I should
Yeah,
say?
that's just that page.
Okay.
The 500. On that point 4, I know the Ulster County Association of Towns, what's the SOH, what's that?
one's state and one's county.
Okay. So in 2024, we did the 250. I believe that's your annual fee, 250 for that. I believe we should stay with that.
Yeah, that's been consistent, so. I don't think
highway
you should fight
school.
with 'em.
The highway school in 2024, we expended 553.87. The budget again in 25 was 750, and we spent 613.61. The request is for 750. I'm just going to recommend we drop that to 7.
Keep in mind, I didn't turn any meal tickets in.
All right. Is your intention to turn them in?
I try to save the town some money, but it should be there for,
All right. So that being said, I'm okay with that 750.
Okay.
You guys good with that?
Yep.
Okay. UCATS, Ulster County Association of Towns, Superintendents, is that what that is? That's another fee. We expended $40, the fee went up $25.50, and the request is for 50. I'd recommend we stay at the 50.
Agreed.
iHelper software is absolutely valuable. The request for $3,800, I would say leave that alone.
Good.
Office supplies, we spent $678.41 in '24. The request last year, or the '25 budget, was $600, and we spent $186.49, and we're requesting $600 again.
okay, end of the year restock.
What you feeling, gentlemen?
Well, if he just said end of the year, so
Yep,
probably be right up there.
I agree. Also, secretary training in '24, we spent no money for secretary training. We budgeted $150 in '25, and we spent no money in '25. The request is for another $150. What is that?
Sometimes there's classes that come up that's good to send for training. Maybe there wasn't any good classes this year.
All right,
Hit and miss.
All right.
I recommend we leave that alone as well. And gentlemen, you chime in anytime. You good?
Yep.
All right. So there really wasn't any changes to the .4. So the .4 total will be $5,600. Contractual. So we have, next page should be garage, code A5132, and this is a .4 also. So propane, for 2024, we expended $3,194.23. '25, we budgeted $5,300. '25, we spent $2,984.37. And the budget request is $5,300. And I'm gonna recommend we lower that to $4,500.
Well, we don't know how cold the winter's gonna be, so,
And that furnace is just kicked on, and that year-to-date is at $3,000.
yeah.
So what's your pleasure, guys?
So that's $2,300 over another 3 months?
It's
I would almost say leave it.
It's a 1,000-gallon tank.
Yeah, I would say leave it too.
Okay, Steve? Okay, so we'll leave that at $5,300. The mats again, '24, we spent $513. In '25, we budgeted $500, and we were already, at this point, $472.50. The request is for $716, and I'm gonna recommend that we leave that at $716.
Okay.
The alarms, $600 expended in '24. The budget for '25 was $600, and year-to-date was the $350. The request is $600. I'm gonna say we leave that. Repairs. What other repairs? What you guys are doing now?
No, it's repairs of the building, but that could be even the fuel system out there. There's maintenance to that. There's just general stuff that, for the building itself.
We actually have a contract with that Wexus system, don't we? They don't come in and service or whatever, or programs?
Wex is your fuel card to buy fuel in your vehicles when you're
Well,
on the
like,
road.
I'm calling that gas system Wex.
Right, no, we don't have a contract with
Yeah.
that.
All right, so under repairs, we spent nothing in '24. We requested the $2,700 for '25. There was nothing spent in '25. The request is for $2,700. Gentlemen,
But nothing got repaired. on that?
Well, that's because nothing broke.
Because it's a new system, right?
It's had some issues. We had some
How old is the
circuit boards.
system?
Probably about 4 years now.
But what I'm saying.
We do spend I think it's $1,000 or something like that. There is a fee for online help.
Right.
But it's not for have a repair guy come out. So that bill may not have rolled in yet for this year.
All right, so what if we lower that to 2,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no expense even back to 24. And even if you had something hit, you'd have money in there to do it. So you're saying 2?
All right, 2,000?
Yeah.
Okay, under the supplies, in '24, we spent $281.41. We budgeted $1,000 in '25, and as of this time of posting, it was $621.70 spent. The $1,000, I'm gonna recommend we leave that there.
Yep.
All
So
right?
really, the only adjustment
Yes.
is $700 off.
We agreed to leave the propane, or did we drop that? I
We
can't
left the
remember.
propane, so the
We
only
did.
thing we did was drop 700 off the repair.
That is it.
Okay.
$96.16.
Yep.
Okay, under parks, we have the halftime clerk monthly. The current hourly salary is $5,033.49. And I believe that 2.75 brings it to $5171.91. Part-time cleaner is 3 hours times 26 weeks, and that was $18.36 an hour. And that actually, with a 2.75, will bring that to $18.86 an hour, for an total overall of $1,471.08. Miscellaneous help. What is the miscellaneous help?
That's when any employee goes up there who does work, set up for political days, set up for 4th of July. There's not a specific employee that.
Yeah, because you never
up there.
really know, right? Okay, so I'm gonna recommend, it doesn't have what we spent in the past, it's a $10,000 request, and that's what we did in '25. I'm gonna recommend we leave that at $10,000.
Okay.
The trail upkeep, there's zeros across the line, there's no request there, and just do your math on that for total personnel.
That number should be accurate.
It is.
But also just, with the trail upkeep now, who was doing it, Boy Scouts? They're done, right?
Boy Scouts in the Rotary?
That ended.
Yes. Yep, and there's a zero request onto it. All right, point 2. Our point 2, equipment. Under equipment in 2024, we expended $753.05. We had a $5,000 budget for 2025. Year to date is $298.22, and the budget request is for $5,000. My recommendation is we go with $2,500.
Yeah.
What is the equipment, Bob?
Anything,
rental stuff?
anything that has to be replaced at the park. So if the video camera system fails, that's a couple $1,000 expenditure.
Sure.
If a piece of playground equipment goes bad, if
Gotcha.
anything, that's also the Veterans Memorial too. 'Cause that's part of the park now too. So if you need more money for mulch, which we will be needing more mulch, because right now the levels are too low, and also infield mix if we need for the.
We have another line on that as well.
Yeah, but we always run short.
Yep.
So it's a safety net.
Okay, so 25 on that one.
25?
100, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. 1.2. So contractual. Okay, so point four, optimum. In 2024, we expended $1,925.40. We budgeted $2,400 in '25, and we were already up to $1,283.60. The budget request is for $2,400.
It's probably gonna be pretty close.
That's for the internet, for the security system, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend we leave that at 2,400. Electric, the electric in '24, we expended $2,355.68. In '25, we budgeted $2,500. And again, we had already spent $1,606.91. Budget request is for $2,500, and I recommend we leave that at $2,500.
That's good.
Okay, water testing. The water testing, we expended $445 in 2024. We budgeted $600 last year. We spent up to $390 so far, and I believe that's going to be it for the year, correct?
No, the rest of the bills have not come in yet.
Okay, the request is for $600. I'm gonna recommend that we lower that to $500.
I don't.
What's your feeling?
I don't feel I should we leave it like that, just in case.
What is the water testing? What is it?
Municipal water testing. Lab Works comes out and tests the water as soon as we open the park, which depends on the
For
weather.
bacteria or listeria
Yeah.
or stuff like that.
So the months can change depending on the weather and the usage.
Yeah.
So it's not a set number of months.
And we also get that tested through the summer program too. They have to come and do a separate test, but that's a different line that we use.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different line? Okay.
All right, so what's your pleasure?
500 is fine.
Yep,
Mr. Castillo?
Good,
yep.
Fazio?
good. 500.
Okay, under mowing. We expended $7,420 in '24. We were already at the $5,725, and the request is for $8,500. I'm gonna recommend we leave that alone. Agreed?
Yep,
Portable potties, porta potties. $1,485 was expended in 2024. 2025, the budget was $1,485. Year to date, in 2025, we spent $330, and the request is for $1,485.
How come it's
well, there's some outstanding bills yet on that?
coming in, or what's going on?
There's some outstanding bills too, but to be fair also, we did not have a porta potty in the lower parking lot for a while, for some crazy reason this year. And it was kind of a mix-up in their office, and I guess we were supposed to request it every year, but that's back. So I think that that's a fair
should be-
price, $1,485. I don't think we should mess with it. Just my opinion.
Yep,
Flags, hardware, and ropes. We spent $985.75 in '24. We budgeted $2,000 in '25. We spent $1,063.84 so far in '25. The budget request was for $2,000. I'm going to recommend we lower that to
15.
$1,500. Mr. Fazio?
Seems, looking at the money that's spent, that seems good.
Mr. Castillo?
Yep.
Mr. O'Flaherty? Good. So $1,500. Under miscellaneous repairs / banners, $1,588.65 was expended in '24. We budgeted $3,500 in '25, and I have a zero expense with a request for $3,500. I'm going to recommend just lowering that to $2,500.
sounds good.
What is that? Miscellaneous repair banners?
Miscellaneous repairs at the park and / they buy banners for events and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. 2,500?
$2,500. The mulch in the infield mix. In 2024, we expended $280. We budgeted $5,000 in '25. And in '25, we have spent nothing, and we have a request of $5,000. I'm gonna recommend we lower that to 4,000.
Why only 4? Just out of curiosity.
No, because I'm looking at the trends. If we didn't spend it in '24, we haven't spent it in '25.
Right.
I anticipate that we're going to be spending
Yeah.
some in '26. It goes without saying. You already
Right.
said that
Well, how much
the
is
mulch is low
Well,
and
the
the
soft-
infield mix
The
probably
softball
hasn't been.
field is not getting used like it used to,
Right,
so we're not maintaining that like we used to.
right.
So we haven't bought anything the last couple of years. At
Sure.
some point, we do have to buy a couple loads.
What does it go for?
It's all over the map. It really is. Sometimes it's cheaper to pull it out of Pennsylvania than it is right here in Orange County.
It's just, I'm just saying it's a lot. It's overinflated, I think, that line.
Mhm.
In my
All right, what are you recommending?
I don't know. I don't have a recommendation other than what I'm seeing, but I'm just imagining, lower use, and then if you,
The certified playground mulch is an expense.
I don't know. I don't know what the turnover is in the lifespan of that stuff, but it's clearly like over budgeted. Like what was 20?
So I would agree, that it appears over budgeted. I think there's value in lowering it. I just don't know what that lowering number would be. I do know that
Me
the
neither.
mulch is in the new playground. The new playground will be basically 2 years old next year. That
That
should
mulch
be,
definitely should be
that's
replaced.
certified, so that should be added to.
Yeah.
I believe that there's some stock down there of infield mulch in the ball field, but not a whole lot to do the ball field either. So the anticipation, I'm thinking, I wouldn't lower it too much. My
4,000?
recommendation is just $1,000. But it's up to the entire board. You guys tell me.
You mean down 1,000?
Yeah, from 5,000 to
To
4,000.
4,000.
Flowers and shrubs, $425.71 in '24. We budgeted 500 and we're 478, and the budget request is for 500. I'm gonna recommend we leave that.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Paper products and garbage bags, $1,585 in 2024. 2025, the budget was for $1,200, and I want you to keep in mind what we spent, $2,248.36. The request is for 2,500. I would absolutely leave that. That park is being utilized so much more every day, it's incredible. So I would definitely leave that request. If you guys would do all the math here. What'd you come up with?
This page,
Yes.
26,385,
Yep.
Yep.
Under the .4.
and then the total. Do you want the total?
Yes.
45, 527.99.
45, 527.99. Okay, under cemeteries. Under cemeteries, we have mowing, and back in '24, the expense was $2,666. In '25, we budgeted $5,200, and we spent $1,900. The budget request is for $5,200. Now, combined in there is repairs slash supplies, and year-to-date for 2025 was $233.61. I believe that was a purchase of split rail fence for a cemetery project that they did on Plata Cladonia.
And all the bills aren't in yet, and that's a bid item, so.
Yes.
That could change when the bid comes in.
So that is one of the things that we have to keep in mind. That does change every year. It potentially could change quite a bit. I think I remember back one year where one of the contractors bid a very ridiculous amount for weed whacking, was like $5 a cemetery or something. It was crazy, or 15 bucks.
$5 a headstone?
We have to
what it
maintain or
was?
take care of old cemeteries that are in
No,
town
that's what
as
I'm saying,
well.
he was charging $5 a headstone?
No, the whole thing.
Just-
I don't know how they made any money doing the job. It was like 15 bucks, I think,
Didn't, like,
each
sit
time they
down.
went. So I'm gonna recommend, the request is for $5,200. I'm gonna recommend we lower that to $4,500.
Okay.
Public health, and this is DA 1989. This is for drug testing, that we budgeted in '25, bless you. In '25, we budgeted 2,500, and year-to-date, let me just kinda get this in my head.
6:30?
So, well, let me do it as this, because the request, the total contractual request is gonna be 5,000. So under the drug testing, we spent 855 in 2024, we budgeted 1,000 in 2025. In 2025, we expended $630. That's kind of a lottery system, so the potential there to spend a lot more than that could come anytime. The request is for 1,000, I'm gonna recommend we leave that at the 1,000. Personal safety equipment, in '24, we spent $1,625.71. We budgeted $1,500 last year, and right now, we've expended $2,996.60. Request is for $1,500, and usually you purchase all that stuff at the end of the season for the following season. So that $1,500, I'm gonna recommend we leave that there. Onto the boots, as per pending contract, union contract, we can minus that out because that has not been determined at this time. So that will be a 0 on that. So our total budget request will be $2,500. Okay, now we are going to the DA 5110. So DA 5110 is the hours that are worked, the current hourly salary, proposed hours, proposed rate of salary, 25 budget year to date, and proposed budget. So a working supervisor, since we are in negotiations for a contract, none of the salaries are gonna change, they're gonna reflect the same amount, what the current rate is. And the working supervisor will be $100 a week. HMEO number 9, $29.43. HMEO number 19 is $27.74. HMEO number 7 is $26.04. The HMEO number 22 is $26.04. The motor equipment operator number 6 is $25.05. Motor equipment operator 18 is $25.05. Motor equipment operator number 34, $23.96. Motor equipment operator number 33, $23.96. The
Municipal worker?
municipal worker 3, number 20 is $26.75. The mechanic is $25.69. All right, so the total for that, we will add that up.
So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
this
note
column.
on this 5110.1,
This is the column. you
the
gotta-
money, the actual bottom line
This one?
Yeah.
of that should not change. It's budgeted for, it's in the budget, lowering that, until you do the negotiations would be detrimental. The money is there, as you know, my budget's at a 1.1% increase. Lowering that bottom number would definitely destroy the highway budget. I understand you have to budget for the current rates, you don't know what the unknown is, but if you make any changes to that, we'll never recover from that. We'll be in.
So what are you telling me? You're telling me that your
Keep-
proposed hourly salary, you're telling me that we should
Keep the bottom line.
keep the bottom, change what we're doing today,
If you're gonna hold the wages, I understand that,
yeah?
but don't change the bottom line.
That's why we have a contingency account to cover that. In anticipation of
1, 2.
what's happening.
The contingency account is there for right now, where at the end of the year, that $45,000 that you put in the other line, if you don't settle negotiations, that's just gonna roll on the unassigned fund balance. That number is already to the taxpayers. I rolled that number into this budget line. So either way, it's a personnel line. It's all grouped into one bowl right now. But if you change that, we're never gonna recover from that. So my numbers have not changed. They're just moved around to cover what you're doing. So I would really strongly suggest that no matter what you do with the employees at this point, you don't change the personnel line. We cannot recover from that. That's why my budget only shows a 1.1%, or, 1% increase. All those things that we talked about as possible to a contract, the longevity, the boots, there's no increase to my budget reflecting that.
Well, you did have the boots in there.
Yeah, right.
But he
But
he took them
it's
out.
all absorbed in there. If you start changing that now, you're gonna be behind the next year's budget, whoever's doing that budget, you're gonna be putting it all back in. So the money's there now with no increase to the taxpayers.
We have no idea what the outcome's going to be. When you're saying there's no increase to the taxpayers, it is an increase to the taxpayers, because what you're doing, you're saying to move this, and I'm just gonna take the HMEO, number 9. So currently, the rate is $29.43 an hour, and you are recommending that we move that position to $31 an hour. Correct?
I'm merely saying that. I made adjustments. I removed a seasonal worker out of my workforce, and I just merely moved the contingency money that you referred to. They're all .1s. I grouped them all together. So there is no increase to the taxpayers for that. It's all there. It's paid for. Whatever you guys negotiate, it's paid for. There's nothing hidden for next year that you have to raise the taxes next year.
Can I ask a dumb
Midstream.
question? The proposed hourly rates, is that the proposed contractual?
So basically.
Just trying to get an idea.
Basically, I understand what he's saying, and I understand the process, but the process is, under the contract, because of the negotiations, the salaries do not move. The benefits do not move.
Correct.
That's all negotiated.
Correct.
So what we have to do is we have to leave that the same. The salaries and benefits and everything stay the same until the settlement. When the settlement is done, that's why you have a contingency account.
So are
Your
we-
contingency account would then supply whatever the negotiations are, if there's any changes in any of those benefits or salary. If we arbitrarily go ahead and change that, then we're agreeing on that increase without going through negotiations. So it's kind of a quagmire, if you will, but it's not the way
How
that
long
we
has the
should be doing it.
negotiations been going on?
I believe we're going into the second year.
Going into the second year?
Yes, and keep in mind, this is going from no union to negotiating for a union. Well, not for a union, negotiating with the union that's been established for the first contract. How long that could go on, I have no idea. I would have hoped it would have been done already, but I understand the process. It's easier to negotiate a union that's already been established than to start a whole, from scratch.
I understand that. The contingency fund, where is that?
So DA 1189.1, we never had a .1 in there before. So the town board put $45,000 in there that was put out to the taxpayers. So merely all I'm saying is,
Is that in here or no? You don't know?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's in there. So all I'm merely saying is just bring that number into their general fund, the highway department personnel line, the general repair line, just as an arbitrary number. It's there already. You don't have to rework the budgets. It's there. You can agree not to give them this wage right now during negotiations, but at least once you do, the bowl of money's there.
But that being said, the contingency account, if the feeling is of the board that we should increase that contingency account from the 45,000 higher to compensate for that and make that adjustment, then we would do that. It's still money we're collecting, and it's still part of our budgeting process. So I'm going to say that we are going to have to leave the salaries as they are and understand what you're saying, and if there's a change, then we are going to have to reconvene and do that. But I think that that's something worthy of taking into consideration. I'm not saying that we do that, but I'm saying that's worthy of us taking that into consideration and thinking that out. And we may have to re-meet and reconvene and readjust that portion. But as it stands right now, I believe we should move forward and leave the salaries at the current rates and move forward.
Then you're gonna have to put back in what was there for last year, because I eliminated a seasonal worker spot.
So you gotta add that.
So you're gonna have to pull the budget from,
So let me ask you this.
yeah, I was.
Why are you taking the seasonal worker out? Why did you take the seasonal worker out?
I need to have, employees
Mm-hmm.
that wanna stay here at the town of Palatica. I've hired
Mm-hmm.
12 employees since I've been in office in 16 years, and they're all gone. The old ones that are left are the ones that have been here for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put, employee retention is very important.
Understood.
I think you just lost or losing an employee here.
Mm-hmm.
They have value. So I'm giving up a position that I've been trying to build up over the last 16 years to a full spot because I want to take care of the people that are there. The knowledge and the experience has to have value with any position here at the town. So I provided the funding for the town board within my budget to take care of these employees. It's
But
a-
you took one employee out of
a seasonal worker that I had.
a seasonal worker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I folded their wages into my payroll to help the board move forward with the union.
So we lost
negotiations.
that body, is what you're saying. You
It was,
gave up
it was,
that
it was a
body.
position that if I wanted to bring someone in as a flagger or a seasonal worker, I'm willing to give that up for the rest of the employees. We need to have people in seats.
Understood.
The state recognized highway departments as the essential services, emergency workers. I need to get people out there to plow the roads for fire trucks and ambulances. I can't keep people in that department. So that's a reflection on how we handle our employees. That's important.
Understood. So
These
What
aren't
i- what is it- what is-
these aren't $100,000 trucks
what
anymore.
is, I know, I've heard that. What is the seasonal employee's salary?
I'd have to
What
go
do you
back.
normally put in for the seasonal employee?
I believe it was 38,000. We'd have to pull the sheets from last year. But the bottom line number,
The 558, 620, is that your bottom line? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. You can keep the bottom
And
line.
what would it be if we did not have
It's
this?
456, 097.2.
456,
097.2, if
Let
you
me
go
do
off
this.
of the frozen
4.
figures,
56, 097?
0.2. That's off of the frozen figures. And then
That's at the bottom of the current salaries.
2025 budget, that's the frozen figures. And then the delta between that and Bob's accounting for the adjustment is 102, 522.8.
Okay, so
That's
that's,
with the existing negative 25,000 for, looks like a mechanic.
Okay.
That's on another budget page.
so,
And that's less a seasonal employee.
so now, that's another question that I have here. All of our employees are down as 40-hour employees, correct?
Yes.
So we have all of our employees down as 40-hour employees.
Except for municipal worker 3.
Okay, because the larger portion of that, I believe 75% is paid through
Buildings and
the A
grounds.
fund, buildings and grounds. So we've taken minus $25,000 out of here for the mechanic, correct?
Yes.
If you look at the 1640 under general vehicle budget, are we taking the $16,000 out of that line? Because then that reflects that these are not 40-hour employees.
That gets charged back for the work he does on general vehicles.
Understood, but then that's getting basically paid twice, because you're budgeting for it here in your .1, but then you're also taking that from the A fund, is $16,000, and then
The
7110,
25,000 is to work on highway vehicles, 25,000.
understood,
The other money is to work on the general vehicles.
understood. But then that should be backed out of here because that's hours that are spent in the 1640 line, $16,000, the 7110 line of $10,000, and under the 8160, $2,000. It's $28,000. So really, this should reflect 20 minus 25 for the mechanic. And then it should be an additional $28,000 minus off of that 456099720. No?
I can't answer that. I don't have the sum in front of me. No idea.
Well, so under the 1640,
Yeah, I see that, I have it.
Okay.
Are we doing 16 or 14?
no. We're doing, right now, what we're doing is we're doing the 5110.
Okay,
But when we're looking at the way that the employees are paid, you look at the hours worked, they're 40 hours, 40 hours, 40,
Sure.
everybody's 40 hours, they're 40-hour employees.
yeah,
When we come down here to the DA 5130.1, we minus out $25,000
yeah,
of salary for the mechanic. But then when you look at your budget line 1640 for general vehicle repair, that's an A fund, that's budgeted to $16,000.
So the general
salary.
fund, the general fund has to reimburse the highway department
For the work they do.
Okay, so that's not a guaranteed number.
Mm-hmm.
So the highway department does not have to work on police vehicles. Anything we do outside highway work has to be reimbursed.
general vehicle.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
right, so that's a reimbursement, so you can't figure that into the highway department personnel line. That's a reimbursement,
Copy.
that's why it's there.
So, and my thing is, when I'm looking at 40 hours a week. So if somebody's 40 hours a week and we take this $16,000 worth of salary under the 1640 with the general vehicles, and then the 7110 for the parks, the 10,000, and then you take the 8160 for the transfer station, 2,000, that's $28,000 of additional time that's not here, it's over here in these other budget
You're
lines.
accounting for it in another budget. I understand.
Sure, it's not guaranteed income for the highway department, so there again, if we don't do the work,
Well, it's not income, it's just offset.
it has to be, anything, it's the law, anything that the highway department does outside the purview of highway work has to be reimbursed. And you guys
Understood.
have to pay the bill, so you have to have the money there. If you don't wanna reimburse us, we'll go fix roads.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do.
Go ahead.
Let's go back and leave it at the current salary like we were going to do. Leave the salaries at the current rates because of the negotiations.
2025.
2025, we
Yeah.
carry it into 2026. When we negotiate, that's what we use the contingency fund for. And we're just gonna have to work it out. If the board collectively feels like we have to revisit this, then we'll come back and we'll revisit this and make that adjustment. If you can get those numbers for that position, if you need to
For
put
the
that.
seasonal worker.
The seasonal worker, if you need to put that worker back in, give us those numbers also, so then we have them available as well.
So are we gonna meet with Bob again? Is that what you're saying?
Potentially, yes. For right now, we are going to move forward and keep going with the budget. And take his recommendation, and we will consider that. And if that's what we decide to do, that's what we're gonna do, reconvene. And I also ask him to give me those
Get some
numbers for that
figures on
seasonal
that.
worker.
But that delta of that almost 103,000, it's 102, 522.80.
Yeah,
What are we doing with that? That's my question. Whether it goes in Bob's figures or contingency, we gotta,
well, right now, that's what we have the contingency amount for. That delta is.
do we have?
We do not know what the negotiation or the outcome of the negotiations are going to be.
Correct.
That's why, when we're doing budgeting, that's why we have that contingency account. And that was what we came up with, what was recommended to put in that contingency account, based on what we're going through. So if we turn around and we say, let's go ahead and fund that, and let's do that 102,522. Why are we not just going ahead and using that negotiations and saying, okay, that's what we're gonna get? And then it'll start from there and move forward. So, right now, we have to stick with the numbers that we have.
Okay. I just wanna make sure that we're gonna allot for that one
Yeah.
oh three. Somewhere.
That's when we come back to.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so let's do that math again. What did we say was 456? 097.2.
Yeah.
So, four. Under the .2 equipment, no request. Under the DA 5110 general repairs, .4 contractual. Uniforms, I believe that's also contractual, correct? Or monthly
set rate, we
payment?
can't change.
$5,592, I recommend we do not touch that. Cell phones, under the cell phone, in '24, we expended $390.83. We budgeted $600 in '25. And that year-to-date, again, that's back September timeframe, I believe, $321.91. The request is for $600.
We should leave it.
It'll probably be pretty close to that.
So recommend leaving it.
Yep.
All right, and under radios, again, that's contractual, I believe, 9864 for '24, and the request is for 9864, and I recommend leaving that alone. Fuels, in 2024, these are all over the map, $62,460, we budgeted $60,000, we're up to $41,780.97, and I believe we just signed vouchers, and that was quite expensive again. I recommend leaving that $60,000. Road materials, subcontracting projects, we expended $211,880.76. The budget request for '25 was $300,000. In 2025, year-to-date, we've spent $433,808.52. And the request is for $300,000. I recommend we leave that alone. Under engineering, we spent zero in 2024. We spent, we budgeted $2,000 in '25, and we spent nothing in '25, and the request is for $2,000. What is that, Bob?
If I need to pick up the phone, call the engineer. Kinda like when you call a lawyer.
But we spent no money in '24, no money in '25. Is there anything anticipated coming up?
I can't predict the future. It's a contingency line.
What do you feel, gentlemen?
I mean, if he has to make that phone call and it's not there, he has to pull it from someplace else, correct?
So do you recommend lowering it, leaving it alone?
But he has projects that might come
I would
up.
almost say leave it.
Yeah,
That's what I feel.
and we don't, and weather and everything else, we don't know.
Councilman O'Flaherty?
You can leave it.
All right. So we're gonna leave that alone. Tools and rental equipment. In '24, we spent $38,014. We budgeted $3,500 in '25. We spent $66,1550 in '25, and the request is for $3,500. In '24, that $38,000, that was part of that big culvert replacement, correct? I'm gonna recommend we leave this alone at $3,500. Miscellaneous batteries, food, seed, hay, signs. In '24, we spent $4,348.13. In '25, we budgeted $2,500. And '25 to date, we spent $5,971.51, and the budget request is $2,500.
Leave it alone.
So 2024.
24 and 25, we
I'm sorry,
spent a
don't
lot of
listen-
money, and we
don't
only
listen to
budgeted
me.
$2,500.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you're good. Don't listen to my brain speaking at the moment. Sorry.
Right?
Don't listen to me at all.
2,500 good?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I'm talking to myself, sorry.
That's okay. Subcontracting for tree removal. In '24, we spent 0. In '25, we budgeted 10,000. And I will tell you, in '25, we spent 28,000. So the request now is for 10,000 for '26. I recommend leaving that alone.
Good.
Fuel Master software, that's the software that goes with the pumps, that's the contractual, right, correct?
Yeah.
The request is for $1,175, that's what it was in '25, that's what it was in '24. Recommend leaving that alone as well. Towing, $500. We did not spend anything, nope, I'm sorry.
He
We
used
spent
it this year.
500, we spent 500 in '24, we spent 500 in '25. And I would tell you that's good insurance. I would recommend leaving that alone.
Did we change anything on that?
I do not believe we
No.
changed anything, so the bottom line is going to remain the same. So let's go back and add up all the departments.
How far back are we going?
Point one.
Oh,
So that point one will not be an accurate number then.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to bring more information back to you.
yeah, I don't,
Hi,
I've been
so
go ahead.
if you're gonna keep the budget exactly the same as last year, so I would just take whatever's last year's number, move it over, but then his DA 1989, we're gonna have to fund that.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if you're gonna fund, so we have to add that back into the budget.
that's what my thinking out loud was, so sorry.
Because he took that out this year, he put it in his numbers, it just has to be moved somewhere else.
Yeah,
We
so we'll
can't
leave it
go
the
off
same.
of This,
No,
No.
I think it should be increased a
this,
little.
yeah, we can't go off of this number, it's, it would be,
So what are you thinking?
I think we default to the budget number of 2024. That's a bigger safety net.
So
Well,
I took his estimated current, right, the one that you put in, minus that of what was last year's
I just
actual
passed it over.
budgeted.
Yep,
Then I also added in your
That's it.
boots and possible longevity that could happen. It's probably roughly 56,000
yeah,
that would have to go in
back
the,
in.
back in the DA 1989. So you're not lowering anything, you're just moving it somewhere else.
That's all.
I think
So-
we need, yeah, I concur. That's too big a deficit.
Okay, so out of the DA 1989, we were gonna to put what in there?
So it's gonna have to go in the .1, which we actually had for this year. The .1's not there.
Do you want the, I have the budget from this year. Do you want the number that was in the 5110.1?
Do you want me to, I can create a sheet
From
really
last
quick.
year?
Yeah,
Oh,
if you
that's
could
that.
create that for all of us, that would be great. Then that way, the disparage, you wouldn't be
That's
so.
what I was thinking out loud when I was doing
No,
this
I'm
math,
glad you did.
Then it just didn't. Right, we're getting there.
That's why we're here.
You get a budget for an espresso machine or something.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Might make out better standing on the corner with a cup.
Yeah. And what is that?
So Steve, the 2025 final budget for 5110.1
Yeah,
was 520,342.
342. Right, that's what I have.
Yep.
That's what I was thumbing through because I had last year's
And,
budget here.
and that would include all the positions, including the seasonal worker
Correct.
for this year.
And then if you,
And then the DA 1189.1 is where we had the $45,000 as a contingency.
44 or something like that. Or was he at 45? You're correct. yeah.
45.
Yeah, there was another account that had 44 in it. Gotcha, okay. But then I have. So just between that and last year, you would be underfunding the budget. Underfunding the salaries.
And not only if you put it back in, you still have to figure in an increase.
The other side, yeah.
Yeah.
Is the fuels good, just to circle back to that? I was kind of glazing over at that point with some other stuff, but the fuels, is that enough for 60 on that?
There's a large increase in gasoline usage
Just
right
look at
now.
24. Do you see 24?
Maybe on that. Fuel?
Fuel.
Right here?
510s, number 4. Look at fuel
Mm-hmm.
in 24. Right?
Yeah, and we're not at the end of the year yet.
That's what I'm saying. The fuel is definitely.
Oh,
not
keep in
covered.
mind what fuels were back in 24 too, going into 24.
Yeah, it was a lot higher.
Crazy.
Correct, but also you have, what I would think is you have more vehicles fueling, consuming.
But there's definitely been an uptick in fuel use.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's an accurate number if we're going off of 24 with less consumption, albeit a higher fuel price. I'm just saying, putting that out there.
So I just rounded up to the 56,000.
Yeah, so we will increase that from 45 to 56.
But going back to the DA 5110, are you going back to the 2025 final number of 52342? That number's got to stay the same.
That's this thing if you need it.
2025.
And then you guys should probably go back and discuss the 1989.1 and just make a motion on that.
You can't lower the 2025 point one account. That's got to stay the same.
Okay. So, drug test and personnel boots, D191.
So this was what we did last year,
Right.
and that's the number. And if we go up to this,
Okay,
there's a big.
so Tiffany, where'd you go? She's gone to the office.
She's coming.
Just come up here for a moment,
What's
if
that?
you would, please.
We're getting to that. We're working out. Yeah, give me that later.
So now we're
I know you
creating
do.
this point one.
It's already there. It was budgeted last year. He
Okay.
moved it into his 5110. So now
So, what do we need to do for this 1989?
the point one.
The point one.
So you need to revisit that budget and establish that. Because you guys didn't, you went right to the contractual on that.
Yeah, we didn't have a
Right,
point one
correct.
even there.
Correct.
So, we need to make a motion to add this point one
Correct. And
to
then
this.
you're just gonna keep your salaries as last year's budget in the 5110.
That's
Okay.
correct.
But we're moving all the boots, the longevity. Yeah, so whatever was adopted last year,
That 500.
that's what's gonna roll
What
right.
is this number that you backed out? What is that? Are we-
I don't know.
Okay, so we're going.
That's
off
my
that.
notes,
Okay,
but-
fine.
Okay, so,
So the 5110.1 has to stay at the 52342. If that's
Yeah,
what you're
whatever.
doing.
I concur.
Say it again, 523.
520,342 for the 5110.1.
520,342.
Even.
where am I seeing that here?
You're
You're not,
You
you're
have
not
to look
gonna
at,
see
you have to
that.
look at the
That's,
2025
this is the
budget.
budget from 25.
Not the 26 proposal, the 2025 number.
Okay, so
And that includes the seasonal worker.
520, 342.
Yep, 520,342.
That is staying the same. Okay.
That's the 2025.
And you have to decide if you're gonna put a increase on that.
Okay, so that will give us the number from 25.
Yes, sir.
Then we need to make a motion to add,
Now we're going back.
to go back to DA 1989.
1989.
And then I will make a motion to add,
I don't have 1980. Was that all the way back in supervisor?
It's the one she
no,
just gave you.
your DA 1989.
The one she-
We're doing
Those she just gave you.
right before the drug testing and whatever, this is the new sheet that we have.
Okay.
There's no holes into it.
Oh,
We'll put
gotcha.
holes into it and
Gotcha.
add it to the pile. So I'm going to make a motion under the 2026 budget request. Department will be Public Health Code DA 1989, that we add a .1 personnel line. And that .1 is going to be a contingent to the contract. And the 2025 budget was 45,000. And then do the proposed budget at 56,000 with total personnel 56,000.
And that would get you, yes.
And that would be the contingency fund.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion on the floor to add this .1 personnel DA to DA 1989 2026 budget request with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried. All right.
And then total,
Is there,
your total changes.
are you gonna go back to the DA 5110.1 at the 520,342 and tack on an increase on that?
An increase of what?
A percentage.
To, no,
Would
we're
you say
gonna.
8%?
8%.
Oh, 8%.
Correct.
What?
DA.
To account for the negotiation?
Hang on, we got.
Yeah,
Just increasing wages.
all over
Yeah,
the
yeah.
place.
Two different lines.
count for the negotiations, put the money aside. If
Hold on here. We're gonna leave it at the 2025 line at 520, 342, correct?
Correct.
If the
And
contract,
that's where we're gonna leave it flat.
but then your total will fall.
That's why we just did that contingency fund and moved that in there.
So you only
So
raise-
no, we're
but
gonna,
you
we're
only
going
raise that a
to,
small amount.
we're going to leave the DA 5110 for right now at the 2025 rate of $520,342. All right, under the .4, the DA 5110, the .4 is the total, is right at 395, 731.
24, yeah.
Under CHIPS, DA 5112, and 2024 expended was 0. 2025, budget was 157, 167. Year-to-date, $424,631.06. And the proposed budget for 2026 is $172,370.41.
we leave it like that.
You can't change that, that's a state number.
Yeah.
That changes every year. Okay, under the bridges, DA 5120.4 contractual. And the proposed budget request, and this is an accumulation where it shows pipes in 2024. We spent $78,576.51. Again, that was probably largely due to that project on East Road. Catch basins, $300. Flanges were 0. Waders, 0. Pipe inspection tools, $891. Miscellaneous drainage supplies, $2,771. Engineering, we did not utilize engineers at the time, 2025. We budgeted 4,000 under pipes, spent 35, 85, 60. The entire request for this DA 5120 bridges under this .4 contractual is $6,200. I'm gonna recommend we do not touch that, we keep that. Under machinery, under personnel, .1, and this is the ones with the mechanic, and the current hourly rate is $25.69, and that was where the proposed, not breaking it down by hour, but that actual accumulation was the $25,000 that were reflected in the other portion of the budget. I'm gonna recommend we leave that at the 25. You guys good? Under .2 equipment. So, truck payments, and that was the letter that we received right in the beginning to offset the budget. That's actually to make those payments. The board previously approved the purchase of those trucks using the fund balance, and I believe it's 2 trucks, correct? And they're
Yes.
in the process of being put together as we speak. So is there any anticipation of them coming sooner than not, or no?
Don't even know what time they're gonna be done next year.
All
It'll be
right,
fully depreciated by the time he receives them.
yeah,
That's,
generally speaking.
That's also, we've gotten a grant to, Senator Hitch's office to reimburse for those 2 trucks.
Yeah. So we'll save money on classic plates when we get them.
Exactly.
So, all right, so that under the .2 is gonna be $239,906. And we have machinery .4s. We have the parts. Parts, in 2024, we spent $28,988.76. We budgeted for $25,000. Year-to-date is $21,349.86. And the proposed budget will be $25,000. I recommend we leave it at $25,000. Software, $1,500. That's what we spent back in '24. That's what we continue right on across the line. The request is for $1,500 again. I recommend we leave that alone. Tools and miscellaneous hardware, in '24, we spent $4,074.83. We budgeted $3,000 in '25. We've spent $2965.54. And the request is for $3,000, and recommend we leave that as well. Inspections, '24 was $574. This year, the budget was for $500 for 2025. We spent $359. The request is for $500. I recommend we leave that. Gloves, rags, that's PPE, personal protective equipment. In '24, we spent $1,403.79. We budgeted $800 last year. We've spent $138.67. And the request is for $800, even though we only spent the $138. The anticipation is spending more as it comes. I recommend we leave that as well. Under welding supplies, in '24, we spent $2396.47. We budgeted $2,500 last year, or excuse me, for this year, and we spent so far $1,318.47. And this is gas, welding rods, all supplies, that kind of stuff.
Should leave it to what it is.
I recommend we leave it too. So the request is for $2,500, we'll leave it at $2,500. Tires, we spent $15,055.79 in '24. We budgeted $10,000 for '25. We've spent $2367. And again, the winter time is coming. The request is for $10,000. I'm gonna recommend that we leave that at $10,000. Oils. This is another product that goes up and down like crazy. We spent $1944.49 in '24. In '25, we budgeted $2,500. We spent $1,809.51. And the proposed budget is $2,500, so I'm gonna recommend we keep it at the $2,500 mark. Fire equipment. $896 expended in 2024. We budgeted $700 for '25. We've spent $658. The request is for $700. I recommend we leave that as well. And miscellaneous soaps, cleaners. We spent $1,716.77 in '24. We budgeted $2,000 for 2025, and we have spent $2,075.22. And the budget proposal or request for '26 is $2,000. I recommend we leave that as well.
Just say if I could cut you off.
Yes, go
in
ahead.
July of this year, we moved $30,000 from the Highway 5110.4 into this account because we were $30,000 short. That $48,000 is not a good number. Just to let you know, we're working with it, but we already moved $30,000 into that account, and we expect to move more money into it by the end of this year. That's a heavily underfunded account.
Where do you see us utilizing that money in that account that's underfunded?
Well, we're ordering a lot of tires for general vehicles and a lot of oil for general vehicles.
I had a question on
I
tires.
think we just received 12 tires and we got to order another 8.
Why were the budget requests not increased then?
I've mentioned this every year, Dean. So that's.
But this is what you presented this to us for
I'm
2026.
Trying to do my best to keep the budget down.
So are you good with living with these numbers, or are you requesting more?
So this is underfunded by about 30,000.
So far this year, and that's not going to. By the end of the year, we'll be moving more money from our 5110.4.
So my question is, why did you not in this budget request, this is a proposed budget for 2026. If we needed to increase the cost of tires, why are we only requesting 10,000 if the anticipation is 15?
I
If
would,
you're telling me,
I would assume since you got this request, you realized it.
yeah, but I
And the board-
haven't
and
heard
the board-
anything
And the
from
board
this.
moved the money. So
Yeah.
every time there's a request to move money, the board's fully aware of it.
100%, we're moving money in your department all the time.
Sure. But a lot of this doesn't have to do with, like that machinery that isn't always just our money. It's for general vehicles. I
Understood.
can't control how many miles we're getting on other vehicles. So it's
Understood.
a moving number.
So what are you telling me?
I think.
Now that we're at this point,
Sure, I
you're,
think-
you're telling me $48,500, your request that you put in.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me that this is inaccurate?
I think the board
And-
should consider, now knowing and realizing that the cost of doing business is increasing. It may be a good time to have this discussion.
So where do you want to make these increases? This is your budget, not our budget. You know, where do you want to make the increases?
I think, well, 5110.1 was where I started, but that fell through. I would say for machinery, this is the first I've had a mechanic in 3 years doing more work. This machinery account is gonna run dry.
So parts are brakes, pads, that type of stuff? Or
Everything.
what else?
See,
Grommets,
I mean, for
whatever.
us, hydraulic hoses.
And
there's
that's all of your
Right.
stuff plus the police station.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're at.
Police station stuff is reimbursed though by the A fund. Any work that's done on the A fund cars or vehicles or what have you, gets reimbursed to the DA fund for the work that they've done.
Not for the same fiscal year, though. It doesn't get back introduced into my budget to the same year.
To the following year.
It goes into a revenue account and then goes into the unassigned fund balance. So if I lose $30,000 out of 5110.4, that's less blacktop than I'm doing to fix vehicles. We're gonna run into the same problem with salt.
But it's also, to be fair, it's also has a lot to do with the way that you do your budget. You replace machinery and equipment off your fund balance. You don't have a replacement line for every vehicle that you have.
The town board does not have a vehicle replacement policy.
But
That's a
you
policy.
haven't presented that to the town board to establish something like that.
Every
So
year.
let's just say, for example, you have 2 trucks coming.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 trucks coming that are going to cost, just for sake of argument, $500,000
Sure.
apiece. So the life expectancy on that truck is going to be 20 years. So we don't have a budget line for replacement of each one of those trucks that are coming in that we're going to fund over 20 years to offset the cost and the projected increase to pay for that. What we do is we utilize our unassigned fund balance to support that. And that's where that letter in the beginning of your budget said basically that you were going to put $240,000
Yeah.
of unassigned fund balance into the budget to offset
Sure.
the budget. But the reality is, it's to fund the equipment out of the unassigned fund balance that the board had agreed to do that with.
Sure, if the unassigned fund balance is broken down into capital reserve accounts, and that's what they'd be used for, I also got a $500,000 grant to pay for these trucks, trying to lessen the burden on the taxpayers. It's not the highway superintendent's job to fund the highway department, but we've gotten $5.6 million worth of grants, which the board did not have to do that or come up with that money. So I think we've been doing pretty good back there.
That's not the point. I'm not.
It is a point.
I'm not turning around and saying that that's a bad thing.
If the
I'm
board-
appreciative of
moving-
that, as well as the board
Moving
is.
forward, if the board, for all vehicles, wants to come up with a vehicle replacement policy, that's something that should be done, yes.
I think we've talked about this in the past with having budget lines for each piece of equipment so we can replace the equipment.
Every year, just like when the bridge down there, every year I come to the board and say, we got a bridge that's failing. And bridge failed. So, until we get these policies in place, that's how we do it. We rob Peter to pay Paul. And that means that I'm doing less blacktop.
I don't think that comment was accurate. You don't rob Peter to pay Paul. It's just the way you're budgeting. It's just the way it works. It's not wrong the way you're doing it, but it just doesn't show that we're budgeting to replace a piece of equipment.
There has to be a policy adopted by the town board for vehicle replacement, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do that.
So there's been many, many years that there has been no policy in place. It's
Correct.
not something new. It's something
Well,
old.
There's a budget line.
There's a policy for purchasing, but there's not a policy for budgeting for the purchase. In other words, I think this was started probably 2004, 2005, quite a long time ago by the previous highway superintendent, the way that this was done, correct? I don't know that we ever had any kind of a policy, if you will, for a replacement of equipment. But
Right.
every piece of equipment should have a line to replace it. You know, we just sold two pieces of equipment last summer. I believe last August, we had 2 trucks. We figured out an average of 4,300 miles per year on those trucks, and those trucks are how old?
I think I have 2009 still right now.
Yeah, they were older trucks. So those trucks should have had a budget line on them to replace truck 1, truck 2, truck 3.
I think everything in this budget, when you look at these budgets at other towns, everything has a code. Electric, we put everything in a bowl. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. The electric should have a coded number. Propane should have a coded number. These are just, when you go through these budget lines, these .4s, it's just a bowl of money.
Yeah.
It's not all separate
And
numbers.
I can see the way we're doing
Everything
it.
has to be shared. You know, just because I don't use something in one line doesn't mean we're not gonna use that money again someplace else. We run into the same problem with salt.
That's why we're
We-
moving money all the time.
We only budget $40,000 for salt. Most other towns are $100,000. We get by with it to keep budgets low, and now we're paying the price for it. Salt's going up $11 a ton this year. So, yes, we're always working behind, and it's always a shock to the taxpayer. Every time we come to these budget meetings, everything's a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise.
The same thing every year.
Let me ask you a question on this 5130, right? Is there anything that we should consider increasing in this? I mean, now that we're.
If you're opening a discussion,
I am, just
Dean
a
brought
little-
up, I think that should be raised $30,000.
But where?
Where?
Don't-
Because it's not broken
you-
up.
I know you want me to look at it from the.
You
yeah.
can't look at it like individual items. It's
He's
hard to
saying
do.
the whole basket
It's hard to
is
do.
30,000.
It's a bowl of money. You can't look at every item. When you nitpick every item, it doesn't work out. It doesn't. We're fooling ourselves because we're short in so many places.
But basically, you would have to be saying that
General parts, just parts for vehicles. Just a general line of parts for vehicles.
well, what I'm gonna say is, you should have to, estimate a guess, because it's a guess.
It's
And raising it up to get to $30,000.
It's not a guess.
Well-
we have the receipts for all the parts and pieces we buy. It's not a
And-
guess.
Yeah,
and-
but where was it used? And
look-
maybe we could add it.
Let me just say something. When you look at parts, to me, that's just an arbitrary number, 30,000. Well, let's raise it 60,000 and we'll feel more comfortable. Let's raise it 100, we'll never have to
Yeah.
worry. The reality is we have to get that money from the taxpayer. I'm gonna tell you this, when you go back and you look at parts, and you look at parts for 2024, at $28,988.76, that's what we expended. In '25, we budgeted 25,000, and this September, correct me if I'm wrong, is when you turn these budget sheets in, the end of September. So you're talking from September, October, November, you know, you've got months left in the year, and you don't know what's going to come. And we're already at $21,349.86, but the request again is for only $25,000.
Right.
I'm saying in my mind, that request,
Is anemic.
I think it's fair to say
It's
$30,000.
anemic, yeah, I think you should make these more robust.
Yeah, I think that
That's why I was
alone,
going back to
but
the
I'm not
fuel.
saying, let's go back and look at these numbers and request, raise everything until we have $30,000. Because
Nope,
guess
I'm fine
what?
with
We're
that as
still
well.
gonna be moving money, no matter how you look at it.
I concur, but when I'm looking at, like, the first thing that hit me, not the first thing, but the fuel, right?
Mhm.
That's back, whatever, page or two ago. The fuel, seems underfunded to me. If we're, the police station has got more cars now than they did 2 years ago, right?
No, I believe they're the same.
The same amount of vehicles?
Yes, when we get rid of them, we replace them.
And then what is the usage of those vehicles? Are they?
That's
I think-
where it's gonna change.
Yeah, so
That's
then
where
the
it's gonna
idle-
change.
the idle
and-
time
Yes,
is gone.
but that's where it changes, and now you have to also think, when we start doing the police department's budget, then we're gonna see what the trends are there, and the upticks there, and the request there. That we're gonna be doing on Monday. Those fuels, the only vehicle that we've actually added that we have not had in the past is the pool car. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I saw, since we've owned that car, roughly $900 in fuel. Correct, roughly?
I would know.
Yeah, I believe I just saw the voucher for that was broke down. So when I look at that, you know, the fuel prices are all over the place. The fuel as it stands, I think we should not go back. I think we should leave that alone where we decided to put it. But I think parts, I think it's fair to say we should increase this parts by $5,000.
You look at tires, you could probably do the same thing, go up another
Yeah,
five.
and that's what I'm looking
But
at, tires too.
don't look at it.
I
It's
know.
broken down.
I get what you're
It's
saying.
all parts. Tires are parts.
He's
Everything
looking at it
is
as
parts.
Bob's saying.
Don't
go off of
micromanage
this
each number.
Like,
Well,
we
I'm
just-
trying to justify those lines to come up with a conclusion. I
It's-
just don't want to pick $10,000 and say,
If we're already $30,000 short this year, and I'm telling you we're gonna be short again at the end of the year, that's a problem. $5,000 isn't gonna make a difference.
okay, so let me ask you this. So we were short this year. How much were we short?
We've already moved 30,000 into
Where
that.
did we move $30,000 from?
5110.4.
So we moved it from the 5110.4, which is what line? What is 5110.4?
That's the highway general repairs for road payments.
Okay, so we had that money over there to be able to move over here.
Let me just see this real quick.
So
Again.
what I'm thinking is, yes, contractual, we'll be moving less money if we increase this 48.5, but I want to know what that 48.5 is going to increase, and it should reflect in this line. If the parts already at 28,988, and we've already spent this year at 21, and the request on this line is only 25,000, I'm saying, I believe $5,000 more
We've
could be
already-
added to that line.
We've already replaced, since this budget, 8 tires on the heavy dump truck. There's 8 brand new tires.
I just saw the voucher for that.
So we already purchased 12 tires for the police cars, and we're ordering another 8. So, like I say, it's these breakdowns will never be a true reflection. You never use the same number of tires. You never use the same number of hydraulic hoses. It's a pool of money. It's just that's what it is.
Can I
Understood.
interrupt right now, 1 second?
Go ahead.
Because in the same token, you say that, okay, you're taking $30,000, which was, let's say, blacktop.
Blacktop, yeah.
Okay? Now, what I'm saying, and you're saying that we're going over 30. So if we're putting $30,000 into here, I feel that what's being called in now for the 26 budget is to raise these requests. Like, if you have, let's say, almost 30,000, and you put in 25 and we're up, we should have at least 30, raise these numbers up, this way we don't have to pull back from the other one.
That's the way it's supposed to be done, yes.
But yeah, but the numbers that you give us is not reflecting that.
Sure, I've tried to make things work, Willie.
No, I understand that, but-
Obviously,
but-
when we look at budgets as a whole, it seems like the general fund may be struggling right now. So the highway department is trying to work with the general fund and keep the numbers low. We've been doing that for years. There's been many times I like I say, every board member gets these transfers. Everybody
Yeah.
knows it throughout the year. We
Yes.
come to a budget season and we're trying to stay in that 2% tax cap. It doesn't work. There's been a lot of times I've said we need to raise budgets, and there's been some hard no's.
But you're not raising it, that's what I'm trying to get to.
I'm not asking for the request because I'm trying to make it work.
But it's not working.
We all know that. Yes, there's a lot of things that aren't working
So
in here.
how come
Yes.
it's not being, at least, tell us, listen, I understand these numbers aren't
Sure,
exact,
that's-
but we have to raise this up to make up that $30,000 for the following year.
Right, I would assume as board members, you see the requests, and
Right.
you file the requests, and that would trigger a conversation at some point that prices are going up.
Well, we're here right now, so if you brought in
Just
25,
just take that top number and increase it then. That 25,000, just increase it. It doesn't matter where it goes in that .4, as long as it's in there.
So let me ask you a question. We budgeted in '25 for 48,500. We're proposing to budget 48,500 again. And then the year-to-date consumption of the 48,500 from 2025, those numbers you're saying are not accurate, or they are accurate? The year-to-date?
No, all the bills haven't come in yet, I don't believe that's accurate.
Okay, so then that, let's just say that number's not accurate.
It's a budgetary number, yeah.
That's 34,541.05, but we budgeted for 48,005, and you're saying we moved 30 into this account?
yeah.
Yeah, and
That
we're-
doesn't
Then he
make sense.
says
and we're
more is
move
gonna be
money.
moved before the end of the
That's-
year.
That's been the dynamics of government here in down in Black Hill. That's how we've done it for years. We keep doing the same thing every
So
year.
where's the money?
I
You
understand what you're
understand where I'm
saying,
going with
but,
this?
but we should
We,
just.
in my mind, we've budgeted, and let's just use simple numbers. If we budget $100 and we short accounts and we still take that money from another account and we're still not going over that $100 for the entire. In other words, we're getting the money from someplace. So someplace we're fat in the budget and here we're not fat. So we're moving the fat from there to where it's needed.
You can't call it
And
fat.
we're
I need money
constantly
for
moving it
blacktop.
around.
It's not
No,
fat, it's not extra.
It's just not in the right spot.
No, no,
Well,
no.
it's a budget that's been kept low, and over the years, the cost of parts have gone up, the cost of tires have gone up, the cost of brakes have gone up, everything's going
I
up.
get
And it hasn't
that.
moved on with the times, that's all.
I absolutely get
Yeah.
that. I just think from a starting point, right, in a budget, we approve a 2025 budget, and that approved budget starts at 48,500.
Already behind the eight ball.
But the year-to-date consumption of that doesn't show that that's been consumed, right? We're at 34,500-ish, and it's a delta of almost 14 grand that we consumed from our 2025 budget. So I'm trying to understand how we're short 30 in this if we haven't consumed what we've already allocated.
Like, let's say 21,349,086 should say 50,000.
No, I don't
So
even know.
bills have not come in.
Yeah, but if we move 30, that means it has to go up 30.
Yes, this budget
So
line should
then where do we
increase.
move 30 from? And should we minus 30 from that line?
You can't, but when you minus from the blacktop, you're shortening the blacktop.
So look,
Right. I don't want
I
So,
think
you can't
we,
short-
I think we all pretty much understand what's happening. And nothing is cheap. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and
No.
you have to pay for what you have to pay for. I think in looking at this realistically, I think one of the things that we can do under this .4 contractual is go back to the parts line. The parts line, to me, it shows justification to raise that line. And the 28,988.76 for '24, and again, 21,349.86 for '25. Well, guess what? Those vehicles that were worked on over those times, we still own those vehicles, and the parts are wearing out.
Yeah.
So looking at that $25,000, I would have no problem increasing that line. That, to me, there's justification in this specific budget. I would even recommend raising that by $5,000 and bringing that to 30.
I disagree, it should be $30,000 more.
Because
if
that's still
what we
leaving a
put in.
shortfall of 25, well,
You're
more than
still short.
25.
So then now, when we went and took that money from, are we over budgeting in that line? How were we able to pull that money out of that line to bring it here?
You're not,
He just said it comes from blacktop.
I'm doing less
Which is
blacktop.
cutting back on his blacktop.
which I then have to rely on money from the unassigned fund balance
This is
to do my paving.
The 5130 that you guys are talking about.
Rob and
This
Peter
is
pay Paul.
adjusted.
That's what, okay.
So that shows the money.
We're
moving.
moving money is what
This
we're
is what
doing.
we have left.
Every year, we're
So this is
underfunded
what
on all
they've
these lines.
Nope,
Yes.
over so far is encumbered and spent. That's the adjusted, that's what they have left.
Okay. Yeah, it's underfunded.
Okay.
We have to.
Give you the whole thing?
You can take the top sheet, that's probably all you need.
No, no,
But here's all the data.
here, here, it's right here.
Okay.
Oh,
That's the one you need. It just shows,
and this is what's left in there right now, and this is, well, putting that 30,000 in.
shows 9 grand, 8,900 left.
Yeah.
And all the bills
Yeah.
have not rolled
Yeah,
in yet.
that's what I'm saying.
We're-
So that's,
we're-
but this,
we're-
that gives so much more clarity
Yeah.
than this.
We're 30 to 45
Yeah.
days ahead of you guys on
Yeah.
our numbers.
So,
And we just signed vouchers
Vouchers, I remember
for
them.
stuff
Yeah, I
since
know.
then.
but this is,
What's the board's pleasure?
we need to increase this budget line.
And I would
Okay,
ask in
now.
the future that if we're going to continue budgeting like this, that we need to show that.
Yes, sir.
It has to be in here,
And
Yes, sir.
there you go.
Yes,
It
this-
shows it there.
but it doesn't show it here.
And honestly, this is a good learning experience for everybody because, again, these sheets are September. And we are signing those vouchers that more stuff has come in since there. There's your justification.
Can I
So-
ask you a generic question?
Sure.
Just in
Yeah,
terms of
go
when
ahead.
we go forward. If and when we start to get our accounting measures more finite, you're okay with us going into line item by line item and establishing it versus having a pool of money?
So, having things coded would be a lot easier.
Correct.
Telephone bills coded.
Yeah.
Internet coded.
It just
propane
provides
coded,
more-
fuel coded. You
yeah.
can track it a lot easier instead
Sure.
of having bowls of money, yeah.
Yep, yep.
And, every budget season, everybody's crunching numbers to stay, nobody wants to raise taxes. So,
Everybody wants a free lunch, but that
So-
doesn't exist.
so it's always been, let's make it work. It's not working anymore.
Correct.
No,
So,
it's not.
Like I say, we're gonna talk about salt too, and it's not working. The highway department's been fortunate because we've gotten quite a few grants, and we have a way of getting money from the state to help with our road projects. We're using it to fix trucks. We're using it to put tires on general vehicles. We're not using it in the proper place. So we're fortunate. You guys don't have that capability. We do. We've been making it work. At some point, you gotta pay the
yeah, no,
fiddler.
of course, yeah. They'll say the same thing we said in the last meeting, was that there's a long road of adjustment that you just can't smack in 2 years of adjustment, so the scope of trying to
go ahead,
fix
go
it,
ahead.
the scope of trying to fix it is just that, like, let's stop sugarcoating it and fix it. And if this is the aggregate of what they've already gone through.
And what's the date? What's the date on that?
It's probably
It's as of right
today,
now.
yeah.
As of right
What- And you haven't gotten bills yet that we've.
No, there's more, right, and then that's what I'm saying, so, you could say increase the parts, sure, increase the fuel or tires, sure, but it's just this aggregate number of 48.5 that we're way off. So I don't know, do you just say?
Well, what's the board's
increase-
pleasure?
Increase
have to go-
contractual
we have-
20 grand, 30 grand, I don't know, or do
You
you go?
actually have to go up $30,000 if you transfer that. Okay, and I understand, and don't get me wrong, you keep on, everything's getting more expensive, but, and I understand you get grants and everything, but the whole problem is that we keep on moving it,
Yes.
and that's,
Because everybody wants to take it easy on the
can we
taxpayer.
take a 10-minute break?
Okay. What are we doing here? Under the DA 5130? I think we should, as a broad brush, increase it 30 to 40K.
I think 40,000, because it's not towards the end of the year, it has to be raised. $40,000, it's up to the rest of the.
I disagree with the amount. I don't think we should increase it $40,000. I do believe it's definitely should be increased.
I mean, it's justified in the ledger with where they're at, I think 30 would be like very, very
Minimal.
strong.
So then, I can make a motion to raise
Well,
it
hang on a second before your motion, Mr.
Okay.
Fabio.
I don't know, what are you looking at for the map?
What am I?
Yes.
I asked you the question, it wasn't rhetorical.
Oh,
And then here's,
I'm thinking 30,
that's what I'm thinking.
so you couldn't answer that, it would have been simple.
Well, I don't wanna lead you.
No,
into
that's
making a
not leading me
decision.
at all.
I think it's fair, the justification is there, and, we can see that.
And we have to start someplace.
Yep, so, go ahead, Willie.
I'm gonna make a motion that we raise it $30,000 from 48,500 to, 78,500.
Do you have a second?
I second.
We have a motion on the floor with a second to raise the budget for the .4 machinery contractual in the DA 5130 from $48,500 to $78,500. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Did we do this meeting in one hit last year? We did. You gotta break it up for me.
Okay. DA 5140, this is the brush and weeds, .4 contractual. Ooh, excuse me. The proposed budget for 2026 is a request of $6,000. We have, in 2024, on chainsaws and trimmers, we spent $4,395.07. We budgeted $2,500 in '25, and we turned around and spent $735.18. That large increase in '24, that was due to purchasing a bunch of different things, the blowers and what have you, correct?
Yeah, and we'll be buying that stuff the end of this year also.
Under tractors, mowers, excavator supplies, we spent $135.39 in '24. We budgeted $3,000 in '25. We spent $1,685.85. We have fuel. Overall, under fuel, weed control, the entire request is for $6,000. I have no problem with that at all. Is everybody good with that?
That's good. Just add it up, comes out pretty close.
Okay, snow removal, the DA 5142. This is for the .1 personnel, and in 2025, we we budgeted 35,000. The year-to-date expenditures, $27,706.89. Keep in mind that, it is still early, so it is 2025, and this is specifically snow removal, so that, additional monies could be eaten up very quick. The, request is for an increase of $10,000 to a total of $45,000. What's your feelings?
Leave it alone.
I agree. Ms. Fazio?
No, that's good.
Okay, so we will leave it there. .2 is 0. Snow removal, DA 5142. And this is where we were talking about under the .4, the salt. Salt is, we expended in 2024, $24,469.92. In 2025, we budgeted $40,000. We have spent in 2025 year-to-date $40,614.27. The budget request is for $40,000. Under the sand, $14,990 or $44.84 was expended in '24. Our budget was $20,000 for '25, and we have spent year-to-date $15,886.56. The budget request is $20,000. I'm good with that also.
So just a note about the salt, also July 2nd, we moved $30,000 into that account for salt. And that's not shown on here also, and salt is going, since I did this request, salt's going up $11 a ton.
How much salt do we have?
We log in, we have to put a request in, we're currently at 600 tons, we've gone up to 1,000.
For capacity.
Yeah, it's a hard number to track because, and, I don't like to fill the salt shed right at the beginning. If I can save some money, I will. So, we'll fill it as much as we can at the end of last year. And, then we play the game, roll the dice throughout this year, there again, it's another number that, that 30,000 came out of blacktop and went into salt.
So there's
Cut to
the
the chase, yeah, exactly.
new adjusted budget of 100,000.
There you go. 30K.
Wait a minute, is this for the .4s, is that what you're doing?
This is a contractual point for the adjusted budget of what was budgeted versus what we're, and then they have a difference of $5,000 at this point.
All right,
It's
so,
about 30 grand.
so right now, let me continue, and you can have your discussion afterwards. Under the salt, 40,000, we said yes. Under the sand, 20,000, we said yes. Plow and sander parts, we expended 44,6931 in '24. In '25, we have already 33,1622. We budgeted 6,000. The request is for 6,000 again. Logger chains, we spent $895 in '24. '25, we budgeted 2,000, and we have spent year-to-date $1,790, and the request is for 2,000. Hydraulic and miscellaneous parts, I believe you just put in a voucher for hoses. Is that for stock or?
Well, it's really not stock, but we have it.
That you have it on stock, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
what I'm
on
saying.
that.
So that doesn't even reflect it as 250, that's above and beyond that. So in '24, we spent 532, 18, we budgeted 2,000, we're at 250, and I don't remember what the number was, but we're actually a lot higher than 250 in the hydraulics, and the request is $2,000. So the overall request for the .4 contractual of the DA 5142 is at $70,000. Now, you guys can tell me your thoughts.
It's already up $30,000 overall. It's up to $100,000.
Yeah.
And we're full. Yeah, we're in the plus. We're full. We're twice a year. We always move money into that salt account. We left blacktop.
So if you have $100,000 budget in there, you move less money from blacktop into.
Exactly. And that's what most other towns do. Most of them are right around 100 grand.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Well, wait a minute, before we go on, with
Let's
that,
do it, Glenn.
with that 284 agreement and the roads that we were blacktopping, where do we stand with those roads? Have all those roads been completed?
Yes, they're all completed, and actually I have two more roads we're gonna be paving in November.
Okay, so they'll be done, plus additional stuff will be finished up in November, so we're good there. I just don't wanna make it seem like we're not paving anything because we're moving money into
No,
these accounts, and I don't wanna yell fire and start overfunding the accounts either.
Right.
I wanna be realistic, so, that being said, we can already, once again, prove that $70,000 may not be the number that we realistically need to have this, .4 in the GA 5142 be complete. So, now, what is the board's desire?
An increase of $30,000 on this budget line.
So you have a motion to increase the budget line from $70,000 to $100,000 in the snow removal line of DA 5142.
I will make a
Correct.
motion, yes.
That's the motion.
Yeah, motion to move, increase the budget line item from 70,000 to 100,000, a difference of 30,000 increase for snow removal, DA 5142.
I have
Okay.
a question on that motion first.
There's one question, go ahead.
One question. Okay, the roads that you decided to do, did you become short at any point to finish those projects?
No, I paved everything I wanted to do. I paved everything I agreed to do in that 284 agreement.
Okay.
Yes, and now, since we moved money out of unassigned fund balance, into that account, now I have the ability to pave some more roads.
Okay. No, I just wanted to say that.
Superstition.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to increase this budget line in snow removal DA 5142 by the amount of $30,000 to $100,000. We have learned a lot in this conversation. Is there a second?
No, could we
possibly lower that amount to 20? I mean, we could do whatever we want, but.
But we already put 30 in there.
Well,
And it's going up $11 a ton.
and the person who made the motion would have to amend that motion, but you guys,
I'll amend the motion to 35,000.
so you wanna increase that?
I wanna do 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause it's going up.
Okay.
$5,000, and it's not superstitious with the 333s.
Okay, so you are amending your motion or sticking?
I'm amending the motion to go to an additional 5,000, which would be 35,000, and the additional bottom line of 105.
105. Correct. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to increase the snow removal DA 5142 from $70,000 to $105,000. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
You need a minute? We ran out of time?
The rest of the stuff is basically non-negotiable.
Based off payroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have retirement next.
Good? And Cameron's good? All righty. Next is, New York State Retirement, DA 9010.8.4 contractual, New York State Retirement, 2025 budget was $79,004. The proposed budget for 2026 is an increase to $87,000, no cents. That is kind of unnegotiable, so that is a gimme. And that's $87,000, no cents. Under Social Security, DA 9030.8.4 contractual Social Security. Once again, 2025 budget was $38,771, no cents. And the 2026 proposed budget is $39,000, so the total contractual will be $39,000.
The next two will change after going through the point once again. So I don't know if they'll increase or if they'll decrease, depending on all the changes.
Understood. Medicare, DA 9035.8, and that was a 2025 budget of $9,068, no cents. And the proposed budget for 2026 is $9,500. So total contractual at this time is $9,500. Workman's comp, excuse me, workman's comp. The DA 9040.8, workman's compensation under .4 contractual is $55,000 in the 2025 budget, and the proposed budget for 2026 is $40,000.
Is that a typo, the 2024 year to date? Right here, is that supposed to be 25?
Oh, you know what? That's good. Yeah, you did see that. We didn't make that correction. I wanted to make a note of that. Well, where it says year to date there, where it goes 2024 expanded, 2025 budget, 2024 year to date, that should read 2025 to date. I think there's another sheet that, that was like that also. Unemployment, DA 9050.8, unemployment, 2025 was $3,000, and the proposed budget for 2026, $3,000. Disability, DA 9051.8,
555.8. Disability, $700 for the 25 budget, and the proposed budget for 26 is $700. Health insurance. Health insurance for DA 9060.8, medical slash dental, $338,740 is the proposed budget. I do not see what we budgeted in 2025, but once again, that is contractual, so nothing we can do with that.
The town board may want to consider at some point having the comptroller allow us for a capital reserve fund now for health insurance. Changing of employees, new employees coming in may require a family plan, where the other ones do not. It's hard to chase that number around, and the state is allowing the towns to do that now, so there's no surprises when you hire new people. Or someone we have here already, your lifestyle changes. So I would strongly recommend that, that we look at
Capital reserve, would you call?
for health insurance. And also, once that bridge is completed by Old Mill, there should be a capital reserve fund for that also, because there will be maintenance inspection fees and future replacement. For a $3.3 million bridge at this point, I can't imagine what that's gonna cost in 75 years to replace it. But if we don't start moving into it now, we'll be somebody else.
What other bridges?
Good.
Yeah.
The old saying, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We're there.
Well,
We're there. And that goes with a lot of other things.
yeah, a lot.
All right, so now we gotta go back and add everything up. The fun begins. What, adding it all up? You're good. I'm gonna go back. So we're gonna add it up. If you would like, do you have any other questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for, your insight and, explanations and so forth, and what you and the guys do.
UDA for the 3110.1, or, are they gonna give you everything from this current year?
No, she'll give us everything. Okay, I have everything in the office. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And then if we could just add all this up and, for our own sake now, we will move forward. All right, nothing else to do? Get accurate records on all those numbers, right? Perfect. Yes.
How far am I adding up? The whole thing?
Yeah, I would like you to add it up, the whole thing, and, you can just write it down. I just wanna make sure that we all come up with the same thing.
This one we used 520. traffic control, is this still Bob?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything in this section is anything with a DA.
I have an A.
Well, you do because the salaries come under A. So I guess I was accurate when I said that.
I'm not that. That's for sure. That's an insult. Yeah, no. No. They're not allowed in my brain.
You're the one that moves numbers around.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But
What is this here?
I don't have all the numbers yet.
This is one with me, 9, 47, 49.
Oh, did I shoot that right out of there?
Yeah. I think it came out of here.
Yeah. That's the one we added, the .1.
Yeah.
What do you guys have?
I didn't add it up yet.
Okay.
I just scrolled it over about 3 times.
Did you do it, Sam?
Off on my 1620, maybe doing it, yeah.
1620?
What's your total overall?
1620. Total overall. Oh shit, I'm gonna back that up. Minus. So the total I had on the 1620? 121,468.49.
12146.
468.49.
What was your point one? 62047.
62047.49. That's what Dean and I had. I backed
Total
into
point
something.
one.
Point 4? 58,921.
And that equals.
That equals 121,468.49. Yeah. Because that 49 comes from the first page. So the total. What? What do you have? I'll add them up again. Maybe I just didn't do something. Let me write this down real quick. Uh, 62 point plus. Yes, you're correct, Sarah. Sorry. I don't know where I got that either.
Yeah, my math wasn't, sorry.
So 129.68.
49.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know, I thought I missed something.
120.
What page is that?
We're good, Ted. Yeah.
Minus
120, 968.49.
I was off by $500, so something happened there.
What's your bottom number?
You're correct. The 120,468.49 is correct. Somehow I had an extra $500.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
1620, way back.
My numbers were right. 120, 968.49.
That's the beginning of the stuff.
We're going through the office and I'll write it all
It
down.
was like the first one we did.
You're cooked.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna do it all over again.
Good. All right, so good. All right, I will make a motion to adjourn, unless anybody, before I do that, any questions, concerns, comments by any of the board?
No.
You guys redid the total on the 1989?
They did not, but I did math.
Yes.
You never went back and did a total.
No.
Cause you only did it on the point one, you didn't add in the point four with it.
Mhm.
You just had to add 2,500 to it.
Yeah, I put it in on mine.
Okay, you have it?
Any questions, comments, concerns by the board? Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion to adjourn at 12:32 PM. Motion with a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Thank you very much, gentlemen.